You're listening to the Evolving Truths podcast, featuring mother-daughter hosts Shannon and Alexus Rae, where honest and vulnerable conversations about personal growth create a connection between all of us. You're invited to experience the transformation that occurs when we allow the truth of who we are to evolve.
Hello, you beautiful heart and soul. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Alexus Rae, and this is Evolving Truths. With me, as always, is my mama. Hey, Mom. Oh, wait. Shannon Day is her name. I don't want to forget that. Hi, Mom.
Hey, Lex. Thanks for remembering my name.
Well, it's hard because I'm just like, hey, Mama, but everyone else, they could call you Mama too, but I want them to know your name.
How are you doing today?
Full truth. Today, I am walking through brain fog, and it feels like I'm walking through mud to complete regular tasks. But I am extremely grateful because today is the first day in 13 days that I have been able to function. I have been able to complete things even though it feels like I am walking through mud. So I'm grateful for that progress. I'm acknowledging the challenge because I know that I'm not back to 100%, but I'm super stoked to be in this moment with you. How are you doing?
Doing well. I am 5 days away from running the Crested Butte 55K. And these last few weeks have been dealing with a sprained ankle, which has slowed training down a bit, thrown in some extra challenges. I plan on doing everything I can to do it and super excited about this. Since we've started the podcast, we've been talking about this, and I've been talking about it months before. So here it is.
Oh my gosh. Time keeps ticking even when we're not ready.
That it does.
I have to confess, I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but I cannot wait for us to record the episode after you run to talk about the run and like how you're going to use all of this information from this training to take you into preparing for the next one. We don't have to name it today. Let's just get through Saturday, but like I'm so excited for that conversation already.
I think it'll be fun.
So the last time we sat down to talk, recording wise, it was a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about habits and flossing. The intention of this episode is to share ways that we can establish habits. But I got to know, what has the last few weeks been like for you implementing this daily routine?
I love the way you asked me that question with the assumption that I have implemented this daily routine. So thank you for the confidence. I did end that episode saying, okay, even though we need a part 2 and we weren't really sure when that would happen, that I planned on starting to floss right away. I'm very excited to say that I have floss daily since we had that episode, and I'm pretty proud of myself for that.
Just for context, she's talking about more than a week. We know that the episode of flossing was released last week, but it's been, I think, 3 or 4 weeks since we actually did that recording. So we're talking about a gap of time.
Probably been close to a month.
So you found your why, the reason you wanted to be flossing, and it's been a month that you've been flossing. Tell me what it's been like with this new routine.
I love your excitement. And I don't know if the excitement is around flossing itself or if it's around the fact that we had this discussion and this habit has been established.
It's the habit, Mom. I don't care what the habit would have been. It's the habit.
It was really thinking about why I wanted to include this behavior in my life on a consistent basis. What do I want to have happen when I floss? What result am I looking for? And instead of being focused on the fact that, oh, now I need to floss and it might hurt or it's going to bleed a little bit or take extra time before I can get to bed, thinking about my why and what I was looking for with flossing. Good news too is I've actually gotten quicker at flossing.
Yeah, it's less painful. It's super fast, like natural benefits from getting better at something that we do every single day.
Yes, absolutely.
So many beautiful things you just said. The first is practice. That resonates so deeply for me. Like flossing every day is a practice. These habits as our daily practices build up to be our training programs for the Olympics of life. When we break it down that way and we just think of these habits as practice for the type of person we want to be, the type of life we want to have, anchoring to the why. Once our why is deep enough, it becomes its own motivation.
There's been one night that we were staying with some friends and sharing one bathroom between me and you and another friend. And I just felt like I'd been in there forever, not really sure why. It had been a long day. And so when it came time to floss, I was like, but I thought, well, I'll just take the floss with me to my room and I'll floss there. By the time I got down there, I was just exhausted, had honestly kind of forgotten about it and wanted to crawl into bed. And that's exactly what I did. At some point, something hit me like, I didn't floss. So I made sure that morning when I brushed my teeth that I flossed, and then I flossed that night. So still maintained that habit. I was thinking how easy it would have been to just been like, oh, I'll do it tonight.
Yep.
There have been times in my life where I make a commitment to myself to do something. I don't do it. And I go, that's okay. I'll do it later, or I'll get to it tonight or next time. And then before you know it, I didn't do it.
And you've said that like 3 days or 3 excuses or 3 avoidances in a row. And it becomes its own snowball in the wrong direction.
Yes. You lose the momentum that you had built in establishing this new habit.
I think that's really interesting that you say you lose the momentum. Do we actually lose the momentum, or is the momentum redirected in the direction that we don't want to be going?
When I think about momentum, I think about it in a forward, positive moving direction, the direction we want to go. If we skip a day or two, we lose that momentum of continually moving forward, and how quickly we go backwards. It feels like that moves so much faster.
Oh, and it's so easy. That is the gap between what we actually want and getting ripped up by things when we let them become a bigger priority than our personal priorities. Energy is never created or destroyed. That's a law of physics. It just exists, but it can be transformed and it can be channeled. The image that keeps coming to my mind is I'm a pinball at the top of like a wall that has a bunch of plastic cogwheels in it. And as I get dropped down this wall, there are many obstacles that may be pushing me away from the goal that I am trying to land in the bottom. And that is the momentum, right? We keep moving our momentum one direction or the other, and we just have to keep channeling it in the direction we want it to go. We are so powerful.
We get to design our lives, and we're making decisions, sometimes hour by hour, moment by moment.
Moment by moment, Mom. Choices are moment by moment. You can interrupt the normal flow of moments that we make unconscious choices at any point in time.
A few episodes ago, we talked about habit as a choice. For me, that has been really powerful, that I am choosing to floss every day. We can apply that to anything. I am choosing to do fill in the blank, whatever the action is, because I want, again, fill in the blank. I've also set a goal of getting back to a daily meditation. I started these two pretty close together at the same time. And I will say the meditation takes more time than flossing and has been a bigger commitment from a time standpoint, having to get myself up earlier in the morning to make sure that I can fit it in and staying consistent with that.
Also accommodating throughout the day, right? Sometimes you can meditate in the morning, sometimes it has to be in the afternoon, and sometimes it has to be in the evening, depending on your schedule and what's available. Learning to strategize, you mentioned that with the flossing, there was one day that you missed it at night, so you did it the following morning and you made sure the same night you did it again. That flexibility in our habits allows us to have permission to be human in our choices.
to have this daily meditation practice, I set it as a goal. I made the decision that it would be first thing in the morning. Doing that, even for a few days, to having a day come up where, for whatever reason, I couldn't do it in the morning, I still made sure that it got done later in the day. So I appreciate what you're saying about the flexibility and still being human, right? A human being. We're being human as we're doing these things. We're finding ways, because these decisions that we're making are things that benefit us, to help us evolve as humans and how we're living our life. And if we were doing it in such a rigid fashion that it took joy away from it, why would we keep doing it?
That's my life experience with habits. I think I got that mentality through sports, society, through my own traumas and experiences, that everything is a grind. Oh, habits this. Oh, I've had such a negative connotation on these things, thinking that I had to do them in order to reach X goal, opposed to finding the appreciation for the actual habit. Now I get to live life with this immense pleasure and gratitude for the ability to floss my teeth in the morning, because it feels so loving to my life. Habits are not painful. They do not have to be driven by perfectionism. Your habits and choices do not make or break your worth. We've mentioned time of day a lot. Picking a time of day as you implement a new habit is clutch, because it does let us have routine. It does let us build that consistency until we have the ability to have flexibility in our schedule and keep our choices.
So time of day can be a great way to get started, especially in something new. And I agree with you, just recognizing the fact that we are human and at times things are going to come. But this is where that piece of not letting that time come where we skip it.
Right. You have to get so anchored into the habit and be established in the habit enough before you can really welcome that flexibility into your life.
What are some other thoughts that you have when you've worked to establish habits in your life?
The second one that really took it to the next level for me is tacking habits onto things that I'm already doing. For example, as I have worked to become a nighttime face washer, every time I put my pajamas on at night is the trigger that I go wash my face, so that I was doing it with the same action every single day. Tying your habit to something that you're already doing in a day, like that piggyback tactic, is powerful.
That's a great way to do it. Something that you're already doing and just being able to add this new piece to it. In essence, they become one step. It's something simple that we can do. Sometimes we overthink things, we complicate them, and they don't need to be.
We have a clean slate every 24 hours. We can wake up every day and choose something that is more in alignment with our purpose.
Sometimes we get so stuck in going through the motions without giving it thought. I'm with you, thinking daily of that clean slate and an opportunity to make choices that day that move you forward and in the direction that you'd like to be. Of course, recognizing shit happens.
Amen, girl. Sometimes you end up with a migraine spell that stops all of your daily choices and all of your habits and all of your work and all of your progression. And then you just have to pray that one day you're going to wake up feeling good so you can start again.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, I hope everyone else just keeps working in the days that I can't.
Recognizing too that when we do get hit with something that causes us to have to adjust, it doesn't have to kick us completely off track. Even through this process, you've found small things you were able to do.
I'm so grateful that you encourage me that it's a good day when I can dress myself. It's certainly given me a much deeper appreciation. It's brought all of the unconscious habits to life because I'm suddenly having to think about them in order to accomplish them. Every day is a choice. you have a clean slate. And it is the most beautiful gift to do the boring things that you don't think are important. You get to wake up with enthusiasm for these little choices because it's a gift.
So for this week, I'd love to ask you, what habit do you want to work on? Share it with us. If any of the tips that we've shared are things you found beneficial to help you start a habit, establish a habit, let us know. If there's other things that you've done that have proven helpful for you, let us know what those are. We all want to be evolving, not only as individuals, but as a group. At the same time, this week, gratitude for the fact that we do get up every day and choose.
Thank you so much for being here. If mom and I are totally your cup of tea, leave a 5-star rating, leave a review, follow the show wherever you are listening. Share this episode with someone that you want to be your accountability partner. Oh, hey, there's another one, Mom. We didn't talk about accountability partners. We can do that one in another episode. Share this episode with someone that you feel like will benefit or that you want to work on life with. We will be back next week. Until then, please remember that life is beautiful and you create the magic. Have a good one.
Connect with Shannon and Alexus in the Evolving Truths community by visiting evolvingtruthspodcast.com. Links are in the show notes. The artwork for this project was created by Julie B. Salazar and is entitled Celebration from the Inner Landscape print series. The Evolving Truths podcast is produced and edited by Shannon Day and Alexus Rae, recorded from the Corner Studio in conjunction with Alexus Rae Enterprises, LLC.